we've looked all over and have actually never been able to find any ginseng. But everybody swears they can remember this being here. So what we think probably happened was that it was carried across the Trail of Tears. They might have transplanted it in here. And then over time, as that knowledge was lost, nobody was going out caring for it anymore. And so the plant has slowly gone away. So to test all of this, we brought in ginseng and goldenseal and planted it on private property out Rocky Ford here in Cherokee County, and decided to see what happened. So that's them planting this in. Of course, that's the ginseng root. It's often referred to as the little alien, the mountain or mountain climber. You'll see it looks like it's got a head, the arms, the legs. Ginseng root, you know, they talk about this a lot on TV now, but you can get about $80 from just that one root. So there's also just a chance that it might have been taken out of existence here. That's our goldenseal root. Like I said, you want to plant your ginseng and your goldenseal together because that goldenseal is going to plant that ginseng. What we ended up finding, I believe the first year that they planted it in, when ginseng comes up, it'll come up with different numbers of leaves. And the numbers of leaves that it comes up with tells you how healthy it is. So that first year it came up, I think it came up with 7 leaves. And it seemed to just be doing really good. It seemed to really like the site. A few years later, they went back out. They come back up with 5 leaves. Over time, as it kept going on, it's just kind of slowly dwindled. And so we went out and we checked the site last year. They planted it in 4 different spots on the same land. And we were only able to find it in one site, but it was just starting to come up there. It was still coming up. I know Pat checked it this year, and he said that he didn't see it, but he didn't check all 4 sites either. But what we're seeing here is that without anybody out there kind of caring for it, bathing it along, it doesn't really seem to love it here over time. And so it could have been that they were actually going ahead, like we said, there was Cherokees who were here when they were caring for this plant, kind of helping baby it along all that time. And over time, nobody was babying it, and we've lost the plant here. So, some of our other projects, this is the Cherokee River Cane project. The garden, the seed bank, and everything first was started in 2007. And so one of the very first things that we decided that we needed out there was river cane. River cane is a very important plant for the Cherokees. We used it for just about everything. We used it in the makings of our homes, blowguns. Like I said, Cherokees were known for our baskets. Cherokee basket weavers were often considered some of the best basket weavers in the world because they were weaving with river cane. So we knew that we needed to have river cane introduced in the site out here. So that's Mark and Pat working on the site. They're getting everything prepped, and they're going to go out and get the river cane to plant in. And you can see, like he said, the site's only about 200 yards that way, right here, real close to the Cherokee Nation. And I think we actually have natural springs that bring the water up through here. It's not the healthiest little water system down there, but it is a natural water system. So out there, they went out to private land. They actually had some people who allowed them to come out and dig up river cane to be able to transplant. So that's Mark doing that right there. They came in and they had to plant it in, and it wasn't an easy job. From what I understand, getting it started was really, really a big headache, and I'm glad that I just get to do the upkeep. I didn't actually have to get this river cane started, because what they're actually doing right here is trying to keep it maintained. The primary thing that we fight out in the garden is Bermuda grass. So that's Mark with a pair of scissors cutting the Bermuda grass out of the river cane. This was the second year. He did have to do that. Anytime we get this river cane come up, when the little baby sprouts come up in the springtime, you really do have to baby them. If you so much as look at that sprout wrong, you'll kill it. And in that particular spot, that river cane will never come up again. So you really have to baby those little sprouts. So you can't just take a weed eater to it. Once they have a little bit of strength to it, then you can weed around them and slap them a little bit, and they're going to be fine. But when they're real young like that, you can't. So if you can't get it mulched, you're cutting all that grass out by hand. And so once again, this is year 2 maintenance. You can see how well it's doing, all that green coming up. Usually what happens is first river cane will die off, and then it'll seed, and it's really hard to see, but most people have never really seen a whole lot of river cane seeds. But those kind of little black pod-looking things in there, they almost look like grain. That's actually some seeds coming up, and so those seeds are going to go back down, and that river cane will come up with seeds. We actually did have our river cane seed this year. Most of the time, that means it's having a really tough time. It's wanting to die off on you, and it's seeding as sort of a last resort. Some people think, though, that if you're not letting it grow out the way that it wants to, it'll also seed. So this was 2 years ago. This was in 2013, or 3 years ago now. In 2013, you can still, at that point, if you were standing in the right spot, you could still see over the river cane onto the other side of the park. If you go out there now, we have cane out there that's 12 to 15 feet tall. From either side, you cannot see over the river cane at any point. It's really tall. It's doing really well. Every year, it's still expanding out. And now I'll go through and you can see all that grass mulch along the bottom. We mulch everything, so hopefully we don't have too many problems fighting the grass. We're not having to get in there with those scissors and hand cut, although occasionally we still will. But it's doing really, really well. It was a headache to get started, but it looks great. And now we've even got Roger King coming out, and I know that he's thinned out in there, and he's looking to see how when you thin the cane, how healthy that makes the cane break again, and so how well that river cane's going to do as it comes back, and he's using that as his master's thesis.
We're going to love that in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, and that's kind of, it's probably more common now in this part of the country than it even is in the southeast. Back in the southeast, from a lot of the journals that we have, they talk about river cane growing in North Carolina, Tennessee, that was 3 inches in diameter. Naturally growing here in North America, that was 3 inches in diameter. That's completely, totally unheard of now. River cane doesn't get that big. But from everything, from all the journals and everything that we're reading, it sounds like originally it was much, much larger than it is today. Now, I guess just from all the cutting it back, as it's coming back, you don't see anything that big. But here in Oklahoma, you're actually going to find more of that here in Oklahoma and Arkansas than you will now back in the southeast, because everything's just been clear cut so much. River cane can be kind of weedy, but only as long as you're allowing parts of it to stay alive.
I got something grow from cuttings. Cutting
Yes.
about a foot long and stick it in the ground.
I have heard that that works. They say when you're out and around the cane, you can actually see some of the roots that will kind of come up out of the ground and they'll go back in. They say that's a really, really great way to start it. You can apparently start it from those seeds. It's hard to do, but you can grow it from the seed. But yeah, I hear a lot of people say that they started using the cuttings.
It'll die back at first and you think it's failed, and then
Yeah.
come back a couple years later and there it is.
We brought in, they did a big river cane project this year and had taken a bunch of little pots and planted them. I think it was up around maybe Bunyan Park, and had planted all these in. Well, Pat brought one pot back to see if we could get it to last year. We didn't think it was going to. It was in pretty bad shape. They had taken it, loaded all these poor little river cane babies onto a truck. Hadn't really kept any of it watered out in the heat. And it's, when you're transplanting like that, you really want to baby it. But luckily, it lasted, but it did that first. It died back. We didn't know if it was going to come back, but we finally had one little piece of green shoot up in the middle. So we'll have more river cane coming up on the other side of the bridge, hopefully next year. This is, of course, we're talking about the species documentation project. Another one. I don't really know too much about this because I wasn't involved in everything, but shadwork, hickory, and Osage orange trees are very important to the Cherokee. So I think that's what they're trying to do here, is to kind of see what they can do for these plants. So once again, they're out here and they're prepping the site. So what they did is they went out and they found some shadbark hickory. Anybody ever heard of Kanachi? Kanachi is considered a delicacy today, but in the 1700s, when we lived in the southeast and before, it was actually considered a famine food. In the wintertime, as you're starting to dwindle, your food supplies are starting to run low on everything that you have in your gardens that summer, Kanachi was one of those famine foods that was going to get you through. So what you actually do is you take hickory nuts and you grind them up and pound them down, and then you remove all the shell from it, form that into a ball, and then actually make a soup out of it. Take that hickory ball, stick it down in some water, boil it up, make this soup, add either rice or hominy to it, and then sweeten it up with some honey, or of course now we use just regular sugar. And it's kind of, hickory nuts kind of like acorn, it's sort of an acquired taste. It's not always the most pleasant at first, but it was sweet, and it's something that helped, like I said, get them through the winter, lots of protein in that. So shadbark hickory is the best to use for Kanachi. Also, hickory trees, when we make stick ball sticks, the preferred wood, or really almost the only wood that we really use, is hickory wood. And they wanted to test the growth rate. So kind of get an idea on what they're doing here. They took all of these pipes, they planted all their little trees in, and then they stood their pipe up around their tree. And basically it was, you wanted to control sort of the light that was getting in there, the moisture, keep any pests from getting to it, and see how well these trees would do. And I mean, you're also kind of sticking all these little baby trees out in the middle of the field and sort of leaving them. So some of them made it, some of them didn't. I think it was a fairly successful project though. But once again, this is that shagbark hickory, and it's really easy to identify once you start getting a lot of bark on there, because it just does have that really, really shaggy bark. And we do have shagbark hickory out in the garden too. Now once again, out here they're looking for Osage orange trees. Osage orange, also referred to as all kinds of things, yellow locust, horse apple, lots of different things for that one. And so they've got the little Osage orange trees. And I think this was another one that they went and tried to, started inspecting the trees at certain sites, had planted some trees in, and were just sort of bathing them and trying to get them to come up. But the reasons that Osage orange is important, they have big horse apples that come up on them. A lot of people actually think that if you'll take the horse apples, cut them in half, and then put them into your crawl spaces or closets or things like that, they're supposed to keep pests away. So spiders, roaches, just anything that you don't want, any of those creepy crawlies you don't want in your home. A lot of people use the horse apples for that purpose. I've heard that they sell them down in Florida for that purpose. But the main thing and the primary reason that we like to use this today is Osage orange is a very, very tough tree. It's one of the hardest woods that we have here in North America, and it's the best wood for making bows out of. Now, Osage orange is not very common in the southeast, so Cherokees primarily made their bows out of black locust wood before they came to Oklahoma. Black locust is also very hard wood, but it's not very forgiving. You have to make every little cut, every little shade, almost has to be just perfect to really get a good bow. I've also heard some of the journals that we have read refer to Cherokees as being the best bow makers in the world. And our men believe it was because they were working primarily with black locust. It's just such an unforgiving tree. Well, here in Oklahoma, we do have a very big supply of Osage orange. So once again, you have this really, really hard wood, but it's a little bit more forgiving than that black locust. And so this is what most people like to make their bows out of today. Of course, when you first cut into it, it's this really, really bright yellow, orange wood. Over time, though, as you expose that to oxygen, that wood will darken. So whenever you first make a bow, real bright yellow, but over time it'll actually darken to a real deep kind of red, deep brown bow. It doesn't take any special wood or stains or anything like that to do it. You just do that over time. You cut into that with a chainsaw, you'll see sparks fly. And then another thing that you can actually use this wood for, that bright yellow wood, it'll actually make the yellow dye. Probably not going to dye a lot of basket materials, but it will dye fibers, plant fibers for your fabrics and things. We did twining, and so twining, you kind of are almost sort of making a fabric out of that. You can dye all of those plant fibers with that. So, we always say you will get snake bit. That's not actually saying that you're going to get snake bit. But anytime that you're out working in garden, working in nature, which I'm sure many of you have experienced, it's tough. Things aren't going to work out. You're going to be dealing with droughts and floods and all those really, really horrible things. So that's what we mean when we say you will get snake bit. Oh, I didn't realize Pat added this in. This is referring to that prairie willow that we were talking about earlier. The one on the left here, that's sort of not quite giving you that real full effect of this color that comes up, but that's what the male flower looks like. It's got this little red bits onto it, and it kind of comes up almost sort of looking fuzzy, whereas on the right side, that's what the female flower is supposed to look like. It's sort of green, it's starting to fuzz up there, but on this other side is what it really comes out looking like. And instead of looking fuzzy, it almost kind of looks, it's much tougher, it's a much stronger flower than this red one is. So, kind of gives you an idea on what it's supposed to look like in between, but very, very different looking. Like I said, this one's kind of fuzzy looking, this one's more of a tougher flower. The ones that we were getting that came up in between kind of look more like the male here did, only they were all coming out yellow. Eventually that red will kind of turn yellow on the male, but it always comes out red. They were actually kind of turning yellow, and some of the flowers on them look like a female flower. So just really, really confusing. Don't know what the deal is with all the plants there. But like we said, nature never cooperates. So that kind of gives you an idea when we say you will get snake bit. We were told all these things on this plant, and none of it turned out to be exactly what we thought it would be. We were always dealing with droughts, freezes. Right now, everything that we're growing out in the garden, everything's just having a tough time. You know, that still it'll survive through the heat, but just like us, growing down in the heat, plants do too. So we're kind of worried about what's going to happen with our seed bank this next year, how many seeds we're going to have available, because our plants just aren't wanting to flower and seed and give us fruit and everything that they normally do. So just constantly a tough thing to work with whenever you're working with nature. Now the Cherokee Nation, I think the admin support, so Pat and our group worked with our speakers group several years ago, and they wrote a book, and this is the book here. There's actually, whenever you get the book, it's released in 2 forms. One is entirely in English with some Cherokee on it. The other one's entirely in Cherokee. So you can kind of compare the two. It's got, I believe, about 20 to 25 plants in it that were all just important to Cherokee. I think we talked about several of them today. And then, of course, outreach kind of being what we normally do.
You have cattails,
Yes, we do have cattails.
and all the things you can do with them, from a cypress tree.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. We did plant in cattails several years ago into the garden. I think they did well for a few years, but for whatever reason last year they didn't come back up. So I don't know what happened there, but they did not come back up. They have not come back up. So it's probably one of those things that we're going to have to plant in again here pretty soon.
Put them in a ditch, they won't ever go away.
Yeah, and that's what we kind of thought.
All the ditches have cattails.
And that's what we actually, because you kind of saw where a little creek looked like. When you go up further, it really is. It's almost just a ditch, and it doesn't even tend to stay as wet as it does kind of further back. But for whatever reason, our cattails.
They're good to eat. I tried it out. I heard a program over in Illinois about cattails and all the things you do with them.
How do you eat them?
Well, the front part is like celery,
Oh, okay.
and the root is like a
Really? Now, we do have you ever done sunchoke too? A sunchoke? Or some artichokes? That's a good one.
I've got, I do wild apples all the time, and I used to hate cattails. I didn't understand this. They don't have a very good flavor, but they're very mild. I see on most people with a bleached white looking tuber, looks like a carrot. It smells and tastes exactly like a cucumber. In fact, the name I've run across before, reading on TV, it smells exactly like a cucumber. It's a little white, you can pull it up and snatch off, you never know it's there. So you gotta be careful. I found out, now it's all scissors.
Oh, no, that's interesting. I've always wanted, because I've heard chickens, but I've never had
That's one of the biggest things in all
Yeah. I'll have to look into that now. I'm curious. Well, did anybody have any questions?
Did the Cherokee have a buffalo herd?
We do have a buffalo herd. I don't know, Pat might be able to answer any more questions about that. But yes, we do have a buffalo. Our buffalo is actually up kind of more around like Rocky Mountain area. But it's a pretty good size herd. Okay, well, we don't.
Pivot, come back up here and see, I have something for you. Do you have a favorite color?
Please.
No, ironic. I just happen to have a blue